back to the Smolder. We got to see Hansama play the Kokma into the Smolder in the last game. He also got a pentakill in Smolder in his first game, so we're either smoldering or anti-smoldering.
We know that Caps is happy to play Nico into it. Of course, depending on what junglers you go, things like Ahri can also be very effective.
3 bans for Hans is crazy. It's 3 bans for Hans every game, guys. Like, Kalista and Draven are always banned, and then Varus is just powerful.
Things go. Karmine Corp. Oh, they're going to go for the Senna, so they're going to try and match scaling for scaling. Senna will have...
Oh boy, Orianna for Sakin. He can Sakin these nuts. You know what I mean?
We're looking at potentially something like a Sejuani in the jungle.
Okay, taking Jarvan to lock down the Senna. Huge amounts of crowd control for Senna.
Now, if Karmine Corp want to, they can lock in the North, and then they can look to ban away things like the Braum, the Renata. Annoying things that could get in the way of North.
I do not understand. Can you please explain the joke? Medic. You make medic hard. Do I need to explain that one?
This is more like an LPL style of bottom lane here. I think Target's had a lot of issues with some of the engaged supports last split. It is nice to see him on, you know, a bit of a mixed bag. I should call him more defensive bag in the time Kench. And as you said, on top of that, maybe getting rid of some supports that deal with it. Might not be the Nautilus in play, but getting rid of the Blitz that could deal with the time. That could be
just taking out Blitz so you can't... I mean, Blitz is such a ridiculous counter to Senna, Tom Kench. Grabbing the Kench with somebody inside it, totally OP.
In my head, I was like, it's something like a Kindred or a Grave, something that he's thinking about. But they, you know, do they think that Bo wants to that
jungler historically?
Very effective matchup in favor.
And no, taking the Lee Sin away is also good because that way you can't Lee Sin, get Tom Kench Lee Sin kicked into your team with somebody inside of him either.
It's like the strongest mid jungle combo, but there's definitely potential there once the Orianna gets level 6. They have a lot of damage available to them. The Gragas being locked in definitely suggests it's going to be their blind pick top laner for Broken Blades. So how are they going to round out this draft? What are they looking for? Perhaps a little more engaged, a little more utility.
Supplementary engage.
Classic Smolder Alistair. All right, no, we're going for some more, just even more engage. Just giga engage from G2. I mean, I kind of like the Gragas here because you can actually Gragas barrel somebody with Tom Kench into your team. Like if somebody has been devoured by Tom Kench, you can Gragas barrel them in as well. And it's so disruptive because you can also use Gragas barrel to remove Tom Kench, like move him away from somebody that he's going to devour. And he's generally speaking a very safe top laner. You also, I mean, because this lane is going to be so passive, you're basically just trying to say, okay, we're going to trade scaling for scaling with Smolder, so you guess you could just take Rakan here. And it doesn't matter because he's not going to get punished, and you have even more engage potential later. Plus, you can charm the Tom Kench, so he can't do anything. Did I see Humanoid's tweet after draft? No, I did not.
You do have ways to start fights, but
I mean, I don't really see how you stop the Smolder. Is the problem. And you do have decent ball delivery with Gnar, but Smolder should be very safe as long as Mega Gnar isn't up.
The only issue with Casey's draft right now is that they're engaged in the easiest.
Very true.
You do have ways to start fights, but they're not straightforward, you know. You have flanking opportunities, maybe if Orianna can find that shockwave, maybe if Cabo has that Mega Gnar and he can find a good ultimate, but G2 have a lot of...
He's had time to watch how Chovy plays the lane for the 15-minute break after draft.
Look at that. We set up the champions.
I mean, G2 is the team that they will lose that game or two during the regular season.
Of course they will. But then they'll still go to MSI.
They'll still find their way. I mean, of course, they have locked a spot at MSI thanks to winning Winter. But they can cement that first seed if they can win Spring. And
I've never been a fan of Age of Empires, really. Just never a game I got into, but I'm glad it's doing well.
Such a high priority in job and surprise.
I want a new RTS. I want a new RTS.
But I don't know if those buffs were enough to warrant such a high priority on the champion. Obviously, as a champion, he's very good at early ganks. Super straightforward. He EQ into engage.
Yep. Sorry, Benny. Struggling to kind of get that into my brain.
Why does Cagel dislike pre-recorded draft? Because he thinks that it makes bad habits because players have time to see the matchups and then practice them between the pre-recorded draft and the time the game starts. So he thinks it's not going to be good practice for international competition because that's obviously not what happens in Korea and China. But in playoffs, they will not do, at least in LCS, they're not going to do pre-recorded drafts. So in the best of fives, you're still going to get drafting as normal. Personally, I think the trade-off is worth the lower downtime for viewership reasons, guys. I'll take that trade.
In that 1v1. So we know that he's good at the champ.
Yeah.
Range matchups can be challenging, but for Gragas, I think he's one of the better ones because the amount of sustain.
The reason they do pre-recorded drafts is it cuts downtime between games significantly. Just saw Dune 2, hoping you guys look at it on Nerd Legion. Guess what I recorded this morning, SM Parish 95. It was a Nerd Legion episode on Dune 2. And on top of that, the next arc for Foreplay is Denis Villeneuve movies. So we will also do Dune 1 as part of that.
Invest in him early, or maybe even try and attack Upset and Targamas. He's really enabling Upset and Targamas to be set up for success here within the first 2 minutes of the game.
Bo travels back to his bottom side. Was in quite deep. Remember the start on the opposite side of the map. Yike is going to translate that into a vertical map in top as well, with a very pushed up Cabo shard. So that is an angle to look at. As you said, the Smolder, the investment not going to be there with the slow push, with the control thanks to Bo. Giving that center Tom.
When am I going to do the David Lynch Dune? Yeah, you know. It's going to be difficult after having watched Fade Rotha in the most recent Dune to go back to, like, Sting in a leather thong Fade Rotha. You know what I mean?
Caps continues to have a great year.
Why was Sting cast in that role? I love David Lynch. What was he smoking? Interesting. Now, may I remind you guys that Smolder is absolutely fucking useless in lane. So the fact that this can even happen is pretty outrageous. I mean, Mickey X hits 3 and then immediately engages. And he dodges, actually, the Abyssal Dive. But they get every single summoner just for an Ignite. Handsama running TP. Interesting. Okay.
I was not expecting that. I mean, Smolder, when he gets level 3, has more damage than you expect. I mean, but Mickey with the knock up there, I think, is really what set it up. Yep. The Ignite coming through very quickly as well. They don't have that combat summoner on the side of KC. The heal being used early to disengage. Flash gets burnt from Upset. And you talked about it. Coming into this game, Hysterics. Will KC's bot lane be allowed just in the isolated 2v2? We were critical of G2's bot lane at the start of winter, but they've definitely found their form. And they're looking to try and win as many of these lanes as possible.
And they get the push in bot as well. Now remember, Targamas is the one absorbing the CS, but Senna loses salts. So it's still quite a big difference that's going to be created, considering that Upset as he comes now, maybe lost 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe not as big as I'm painting it out to be with the huge wave that now crashes in. But for KC, still, that crash comes through, gives a bit of timing for Hans.
We'll keep an eye on this TP. I mean, this is kind of a hilarious adaptation, guys, because you just know that this is going to be a Giga Farm Fest versus Senatom Kench, so why not just go ahead and take TP? I like this quite a bit. Dylan Falco winning again. TL didn't even consider Sven for their ADC role. I mean, that's pretty outrageous considering, like, even though he's been playing support, he's a grinder and he's definitely better than Yun.
Bo gets out. First grab, remember, is still the EXP that you want. So 1 for 2. one cares about it. Grubs it.
Grubs are grubs.
Grubs are grubs. EXP's great, but you know, in the long run, I'll say it again. Dragons.
Yeah, Tom has teleport too. You always take teleport with like Tom Kench in these lanes when Senna is fasting,
Stacking wave for G2 to set for that.
so you can match TPs later.
Look at this.
It's pretty fun adaptation, actually. I'm into it.
Targamas and Bo all hovering around.
Have you covered the double lift dodo drama? We'll be talking about that on SI in 4 hours.
Extended family getting attacked right now. So will G2 act on it? Biggest question is for Hans Sama. Gonna get this wave push first, then move over. Yike is moving in as well. Hello, let's look topside. That's because there's an all-in about to come through. Thank you, observers. Cabo Shard. No Mega Gnar there, but Broken Blade again with good trades on his Gragas. What's in those barrels?
Tasty beverage, one would imagine.
One that is PG-13 plus,
I imagine that too.
but not 18.
Well, Casey have been forced off of this. Caps getting level 6, making his way into the river. Casey were too hesitant to actually take that fight. Golf claps come through from the audience.
Now one person really likes Hex-Tech Dragons dying. Really big fan of that. I don't like that one.
Broken Blade forced to use the ultimate.
Took a turret shot. No flash available. Cabo Shard. Boomerang. Nah, good timing at the body slam as well. Also, got some plan here, so he's got a bit of sustain. Won't be able to sustain the lane.
A lot of sustain. That's a lot of mana back for Broken Blade. Well, CS advantage still exists for Cabo, as you would expect in the Rangers early matchup. Ansama continues to stack up. 40 stacks right now. Not bad. Nothing too crazy.
Have we kind of considered what is great at the moment? Maybe pausing that bow and looking towards mid. Hang on, there's a flash bot side. Mum! Flies. So remember, Upset lost a bit of experience and almost dies because of it. Kind of considered what is great at the moment.
I mean, Upset is still level 4 here because he's just been bullied out of lane. So, I mean, the timings on this have been very good from G2.
Nothing too crazy.
Have we kind of considered what is great at the moment? Maybe pausing that bow and
Right, he just powers in there.
flash bot side.
He knows the flash still isn't up yet for Upset.
Upset lost a bit of experience and almost dies because of it.
I'm not sure about Karmine Corp playing for farm on Targamas out of all people on this team, guys. Seems to me that even though Senna is strong, maybe this ain't the strategy you want when Targamas is your support player.
Looks like he's not going to spend it though. Going to choose to go back to base. Bo is going to steal away caps from Yike. Yep. Good utilization of the pressure that he has from both mid and top. Seiken moving over to assist with that.
I find the funniest thing about the Team Liquid drama is, like, why would Dodo want Double Lift back on Liquid when Double Lift literally just quit halfway through a fucking year and said Spring Split doesn't matter while he was on Liquid? Like, why do you want that guy back on your team? That sounds like a fucking GM's nightmare. Like, is this guy just going to quit again?
The TP burn before, he's able to get a turret plate, he's able to push and deny this wave by the most amount. Caps, count your minions, Seiken knows. Good job. He's not falling prey, but he does actually, because he flashes. Deny. This just 500, 400 gold. Cabo will extend that a bit. As with all that
So it's a fake recall here. Caps goes back into the wave
push and deny
as a minion.
by the most amount.
Seiken cannot count that there are 4 melee minions. He actually uses it, and then he flashes.
Prey, but he does actually,
Okay.
'cause he flashed. Able to get a turret plate, he's able to push and deny. By the most amount.
He literally uses QW on the wave.
Seiken knows. Good job. He's not
Whatever.
falling prey, but he does actually, 'cause he
I can't believe this Karmine Corp team. Whatever.
Because Caps got a summoner out of him.
Caps lost a lot of HP trying to set up that play. I mean, it definitely was. Should be able to heal that back. He still has his 3 biscuits. Don't obviously offer a huge amount of health, but it's better than nothing. I should help with some of the mana issues, given that he's so low right now. Mickey looking for something in the enemy jungle.
A bit quiet there. I thought KC fans left for 9 minutes, you know.
Trying to keep the energy high. Yet to find first blood. A little surprising.
Pause with the alluded double lift teams. Leaving of teams usually ends in a bad way. I mean, you can see that for yourself. He literally just gave up on Liquid. There's not another way to read that situation.
Second plate. Senna in the mid lane.
Yeah.
As the Handsama's gold is only going to continue to climb.
I mean, Targamas can't walk up to this by himself. They're going to bring the whole squad down, Betty. I just wonder, are G2 aware of this? There's no vision in River.
Bit of danger. Here comes the engage.
Okay, Hansama safe for now. Chu slows them down. Boaz kick available. And flashes a flash on top with Sake and Shockwave.
Bit of danger. Here comes the engage.
Nice. This is actually a good play. I mean, nice ball delivery here.
Slows them down. Boaz kick available.
Flashes on top. Gets Shockwave. Kicks Hansama back. They get both kills. There you go. I mean, this is a very awkward position because you never expect to be kind of winning laned like this as the Smolder lane. They get Hansama's flash too. He flashes on top of the Lee Sin flash. He flashes into the Shockwave basically.
And all of a sudden, KC on the board with one big power play.
What a wombo combo. The ball delivery system is a flashing blind monk. Great engage from KC. They find themselves first blood. They convert it into 2. And while Caps will get a play back, I think KC can be pretty happy.
G2, hard pushing bot.
So what they'll do is they'll use the Shockwave first, and then Bo will flash at just the right time to make sure that it connects.
Oh,
Beautifully done by Bo. He then kicks the dragon back. And just very well played. They even hand the kill over to Upset. KC punishing the aggression from G2's bot side. Bit of frustration, hard to tell with Dylan Falco. Stone cold as ever.
Yeah. Head's not in his hands and they're not getting frustrated. More frustration.
Dylan Falco is just a coach who can keep calm because he's seen the most happy gaming in the universe from his players. He's been through it all, guys. His players have put him through every possible human emotion that a coach can have.
Pride in last splits. They often talked a lot about it, the main focus area of improvement. And so we'll see how KC can keep up with them and their movements around the map.
I think one of the big issues with KC was their mid-game last split, you know, the ability to hold leads. I think a lot of LEC teams, you could say the same.
And quite frankly, just poor decisions, right? They would pick poor
Which
fights.
usually happen in the mid-game when people are fighting more, you know.
Sometimes they would like start these objectives and...
That's why his hair is so gray, guys. It's Caps' fault, really.
Let's see how they navigate this. We haven't
It's Caps and Mickey X have actually turned Dylan Falco's hair gray.
Still very important.
He's like Obama in the before and after pictures when Obama was in office.
Frankly, I feel like the Jarvan is a champion that needs to be doing something. You know, if he's just full clearing every respawn of the camps, then I feel like that there were better options that you could have picked. You know, I think one of the strengths of Jarvan is its early game utility. But now, the Dragon Beam started off. G2 already have the first one. Can they secure the second? Hansama in a bit of an awkward angle here.
Is indeed. G2 is sitting in the pit. There's the flash from Mickey, but he gets no one. Mum onto Targamas.
Can they secure the second? Hansama in a bit of an awkward angle here.
Is indeed. G2 is sitting in the pit. There's the flash from Mickey, but he gets
Whoops.
no one. Mum onto Targamas.
It's alright, he got Targamas eventually with the charm.
KC have already got the burn of ultis. Dragon goes
Caps has ult, Caps has flash, and there's a Jarvan follow-up. G2? G2? You hate to see that one. The Devour is still up, guys. So you get the root down, right? You kill it, and you're like, oh, all right, time to turn, boys. Flash Pop Blossom doesn't hit Targamas, and Targamas literally just walks up and eats Upset, and then Caps is stuck inside the Jarvan ult and gets killed by Saken. Broken Blade has no mana when he comes in, misses his body slam, casks, and then literally can't do anything else. Okie dokie. Yike flash for that knockup too onto the Tom Kench. That was a pretty cringe fight by G2, guys. That's hilarious.
Just like that, it's G2
openly making fun of G2, and Seiken securing a triple kill. KC
But they got Drake. It's okay, guys. I have not watched Heretics vs. Fnatic yet, no.
6-0 in kills right now, a 3k gold lead. And it starts off with a blunder initiation from Mickey. Look at the reaction here from Bo. Wood over the wall, sidesteps the engage. Mom effectively useless. Caps now getting chipped away from the HP of Seiken. A nice flash engage locks them up, but then the consume from Targus keeps Upset alive. Look at this play from Upset.
Nice kick, dude. Did you see that kick? CC's both Mickey X and... Look at this kick from Bo. Comes back out. Kicks Mickey. Q2's onto him. Gets on top of Hansama. Very nicely played.
Then comes over the wall, and Seiken there to finish off the kill. Very well played fight from KC. The coaching staff naturally elated. To get a win against G2 would be massive to start off.
And that's how Dylan's hair got a little more gray.
Oh yeah, completely different. KC is kind of our story. However, it's got to get through the motions of the game, right? We've got a 3k gold lead. The problem is G2 can muck about, and then people find out. People find out they're up a canoe, no, up a river without a paddle when they go up against G2. And that's, of course, giving them preface because of being
Up a canoe without a river, as they say.
Now we praise KC and we look at this play and think, man, Seiken is the beneficiary. 4-0 on this Orianna, 2 items.
Yeah, 100% KP. Seiken. Have I already watched G2 versus Karmine? This is my first time seeing it. I don't watch VODs, generally speaking, on this stream that I've already seen, guys.
There's going to be an open turret sooner or later.
The only air of skepticism I have.
I gave the air of skepticism.
No, it's not even just G2. It's just in the previous 2 games, we've seen this exact.
I'm in Korea. I'm asleep when these games are on.
There is a smolder.
Oh, that could be an issue.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
Senna.
I mean, you're definitely right. I mean, KC openly left the smolder up, and they said, we believe that we have a champion that can match in terms of scale.
He's at 137 stacks already, and it's the one... I mean, this is where it really starts to take off for Smolder, right? Because he has the upgrade on the Q, so he can farm faster. So it's going to get real scary real fast. This is looking like a 22-minute-er on the 225 stacks, depending on what he can take. If he can take some other, like, you know, mini Raptors or mini Krugs, or if he gets a good team fight where he procs a lot of W and R farm stacks.
Dragon, excuse me, turret goes down. Completely different objects in the game. But that is first turret of the game, by the way. First brick is going to be shattered by KC top wall caps. Going to get this push in the bottom side. Try and get a trade.
And NFL free agency moves. Oh, man. Excited for Russell Wilson for the Steelers. That shit's hilarious. That shit is hilarious. Dude, Saquon Barkley to the Eagles is such a traitor move. I love it. My wife is a Giants fan. She's in shambles. But I'm happy because Barkley deserves to be on a team where he might be able to win a title at some point. He's too good to fucking waste his entire career on the garbage-ass Giants.
I remember Nintendo 64, Pokemon Stadium. There's a game, you know, as Licky Tongue, you'd eat sushi.
I do remember
him and Tiki's back and forth, yeah.
Old man. It's not that bad. There's still be people out there who are like 5 years younger.
Dude, who cares? Like Saquon, if the Giants are not going to provide Saquon with a good contract, or you know, GM a not complete shit team, then he deserves to go elsewhere. He's not obligated to just be on garbage teams forever.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
You know, like, am I sad that Justin Simmons got released by the Broncos? Sure, but I also hope Justin Simmons goes somewhere where he might be able to win a title because he's too good not to be on a team that makes playoffs. And the Broncos are just tanking now, so.
Flashes away. They get a free flash.
TP response.
Broken Blade waiting for it though. Explosive cast in hand. It's only Targa. So.
And this will leave the Dragon, well, in an awkward spot.
Waiting for it though. Bot in front of Dragon.
What are we doing?
Maybe top side that's going to change.
So Kevashard can get out of this. He has flash, guys. So he flashes out. Why are we TPing here? Why are we TPing?
Broken Blade waiting for it though. Explosive cask in hand. It's only Targa. So,
and this will leave the dragon. Well, in an
Okay, we just burned TB for no reason. I love G2, man. And they're like, well, he's gone now. Let's just TP ourselves. Why not? Here comes Caps. Oh, no. Everything is shit.
A comedy of errors as G2 failed to connect any CC on a Cabo. He gives him the
No, it's all right. Caps has been super good, guys. He's been super good in the other couple games this split so far. That was funny, though. I like the idea, but instead they just give up Drake for free, which is kind of silly. Remember that they used TP to go topside, and they had pressure in the bot lane. Like, look at this. And then he goes back and TP's up there instead of just making a play onto Drake. I mean, it was going to be hard because Yike was already up there, but they don't maintain pressure. Pittsburgh got a steal. I mean, whoever got Russell for vet minimum was going to get a steal. I mean, I don't think the Steelers are going to be good, but I think it's just going to be funny.
Lose the KC? I've completely blanked. Was that one of their last games of the split?
You'd like me to find out, wouldn't you?
I've completely forgot. I know KC won.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. The exciting one is Kirk Cousins on the Falcons. Falcons might actually be good now.
I honestly don't remember how I got here. So, G2 versus KC. No, they did beat them.
Okay.
G2 lost to Rogue, as you said. You know, that was the comedy game. Vitality as well you could put in there because Vitality last split weren't the same.
Yes.
But,
Okay.
But no, on your point, I mean, this is G2. And I know a lot of people at home will be like, you guys just give excuses to G2. Well, they keep winning. That's the problem. They keep winning, like, playoffs.
Give us a fair shot to make playoffs.
Going to MSI. The first team
I mean, you have Tomlin. He's, like, a great coach, so.
But, like, in this position,
Steelers always go to playoffs.
This is their game to lose.
Basically.
With the composition they have, I think they're in a great spot.
As a fellow Broncos fans, our next 2 to 3 years look rough. Yeah, but it's better to do it this way. You know, it's just better to do it this way than to just, like, I mean, the fucking clown parade has been going on so long in Denver at this point in time, since 2015 and the Super Bowl win, that they just need a full reset and commit to it. Like, all the fucking Band-Aid moves, all the fucking Case Keenum, Teddy Bridgewater, Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, bullshit Band-Aid seasons just have to stop. Like, whatever, just lose. Just go get Arch Manning. Just lose until you get Arch Manning. The dream.
It was Mother's Day, of course, at least in the UK on Sunday. Shout out to all the mums out there.
Oh, props to all mums.
Yeah.
Was it actually? I don't think.
Yeah, in the UK it was.
Yeah, the UK, that's why. You know, I'm not
That's what I think.
Same everyone, which is always confusing.
Peyton calls up his nephew Arch and says, hey, I love the Broncos. It's time to go to the Broncos. How many more Mannings are there? Well, Peyton also has 2 kids, but they're in middle school. There's an infinite amount of Mannings. Arch is a freshman, yes, but the Broncos are going to suck for a while, so.
So he gets sneezed on as a result, and Han Summer, with his next wave, will have full stacks. I feel like at 20-minute mark, that's still pretty good.
Ideally, KC would love to take this tower down because it's easier to move into the enemy jungle when you unlock that. You can see KC getting a bit of vision down. That's immediately going to be cleared out by the Scryer's Bloom. Of course, enhanced thanks to the Chem Salt we have on the Rift. Caps finally going to secure G2's first tower of the game.
Yeah.
How does G2 get out of this hole? I guess it's just Smolder gets stacks. Oh, guys, I was right. He just hit 226. It was actually before 22 minutes. He was on a very fast pace this game, though, because of how well his lane was going. And he has a gold advantage, so I guess game is just over now because they actually just can't kill Smolder, probably. I mean, they have to hope that Bo makes a pretty epically Sin play, or they fight during Meganar when Hansama doesn't have flash.
Maybe they sit there and say, you know what, we just want to scale more. We have Smolder on our side. still wants a few more items before we force a fight. They have that choice. The question is, are they in the same mindset as us? Do they think that they need to fight this dragon, or are they happy to concede it? Because they could trade it for like a top tier 1, for example. Maybe they actually trade it for mid tier 1. Both mid towers still being up 22 minutes in is obviously a very long time. Seiken has pushed in that top wave, has the TP available to him, but is already going to start making his way down to join with the rest of his team. Cabo actually abandoned that bot wave, a little cautious because he doesn't have full information as to where everyone is. Cap's now being spotted on top, should help him. He's now moving over towards mid. That will give them a numbers advantage and a bit of deeper vision towards this bot side jungle.
Let's just remember for KC.
I mean, there's no reason that G2 actually has to fight this. I mean, who cares if they get fucking 4 Chemtech Drakes? Just infinite stack the fucking Smolder, you know what I mean? Yeah, just cross map. Just get some more gold. Get your teammates back in this game, guys. Just get your teammates back in this game. Don't fuck with the Drake. Who cares? Good job, G2. You're not suiciding into a useless Drake. That was a good call by G2. You know, put a little bit of pressure on. Motion over there. Don't overextend in the mid lane. A real goal, just take tier 1 and top.
Remember this next feud here. Mum once again. Targamas is getting burnt down. He's in the cataclysm, but he's not dying.
I mean, he's not going to die. Not yet. Not enough damage there with just the Smolder on 2 items.
Cap's on the flank. He's cautious, and he should rightfully be so. Bo is just there ready. They thought they could punish Targamas, far too tanky. When Seiken does arrive, Yike was forced to flash away because the shockwave was coming through.
If you have the lead, shouldn't you just push it? How do you push the lead here if you're Karmine Corp? You can't really do Baron right now. You unfortunately lost the first 2 Drakes because your bot lane traded very badly in the early game, had no sum, so the fucking Smolder lane got pressure somehow. Smolder lanes should not be able to just to take 2 early Drakes for free, guys. Even if you're handshaking scaling, those early trades by Karmine Corp were very bad. And the fact that they got all summoner spells out of the bot side and trade for like 1 fucking ignite on Mickey X was terrible. It was a terrible trade. Worst trade deal in the history of trade deals for Karmine Corp.
But yeah, I wonder who is scarier, Smolder or Senna?
That is a great question. Well, I mean, Senna keeps getting range. Mum once again. You got to think with how many times Mum gets called, that's got to be Dad at some point, right?
Nope, because it's called Mum.
Yeah, but still, like, Mum's cooldown is not that long. There's no way. Call the father, uncle, somebody deal with this, bro. There's no way whatsoever as Cap tries to get a Tangle Barbs out, upset, tags him, and tag him again. Nor does Bo. Mickey's coming back in, but remember, he just burned his flash.
Really like the way in which Upset used the wards to then apply the Q to connect onto Caps there. Of course, can't really convert it into much else. Casey just kind of dancing around. Scaling continues. 102 stacks now hit for Upset.
We're just waiting for the Smolder to scale infinitely, get 1 gazillion items from farming out mid lane. He's still actually just, he's literally just going and continuing to farm small raptors right now. Even though he already has the 225 stacks. Just get more stacks, why not? Worst trade deal than the Russell Wilson one? Yeah, it's pretty bad. You know, what tilts me about people's narrative is, was the Russell Wilson deal bad? Of course it was. It wasn't even the worst trade of that season, guys. Everybody's like, wow, is the Russell Wilson deal the worst NFL trade of all time? Well, first off, we have the Herschel Walker trade, so no. And second off, it wasn't even the worst trade of that season. Did you guys see the Deshaun Watson trade? Holy shit, that was 1,000,000 times worse.
Finally siege onto this. They're looking for the fight.
Oh, it's perfect! It's perfect! It's the...
Jesus. Cabochard in bot side, in mini Gnar. They push up mid lane. He splashes Q onto them. And of course, just a beautiful little arc here. We have the Gragas coming from behind. Right? We have the Nico. Everybody collapsing. They have, by the way, guys, this is where it's dangerous. when you're trying to push up, but you have no side lane pressure and you don't have any vision on this side, it makes it very dangerous to do this. And remember the kind of composition that G2 is running. Hard engage, hard engage, hard engage, hard engage. Like, they have a ton of tools, and they time this basically perfectly, and they start getting the execute stacks down immediately. So there you go. You just catch out 3 with the Jarvan ult immediately. Immediately into Gragas engage. Flash body slam into Charm. Oh, God. Into Pop Blossom. So beautiful. All right, well, there's Baron. Okay, game's over now. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
And this is what we talk about when it comes to G2. They've earned that pedigree, they've earned that right, that you can never really afford to count them out. A great fight found in the mid lane.
Beautifully played by G2, though.
Completely by surprise. The Baron is going to be unlocked. No jungler, no smite. Can Casey stop this from being secured?
Baron's going to go down. All it takes is a smite. Yike can't let it go, and he won't. As now low health bars bring Casey in to try and get a fight off the back, and Mickey is taken out. So only 4 Barons left as KC continue to chase up. Caps now out with the Mega Blast Cone. Cabo flashes Tangle Barbs. Caps dies too. How much else can they get onto Broken Blade? Is Targa alone? No, Cabo's...
That's an acceptable trade, though, for all those kills plus a Baron, and Targamas is just isolated. Oh, cute. Cabo shard? No, you don't want to do that, Cabo. Kind of hilarious. They still get away with 1 Baron buff onto Broken Blade.
In the top lane, Casey wanted to take as many Barons away from G2 as possible, but we have to go all the way back to this fight in mid. Look at the angle from Broken Blade and Yike.
Dude, it's just the synergy. Right? Jarvan ult, flash body slam, cask. So nasty. Charm from Rakan ult.
The ultimate from Targamas is good to keep Saken alive, but the shockwave can't do much to turn it around. Cabo doesn't have any rage stored up in the tank, doesn't have the ultimate available, and it is just a one-sided fight for G2. But the re-engage from Casey is spectacular. Back into the action. Two down who have nothing left. All of the ultimates have been used. Everything is gone. And so Casey's just looking to get pick after pick, but we're straight back into the action.
Explosive cast, beautiful. Saken's caught out. The Oriana's caught out. Take away the Baron, sure, but G2 keep taking away lives from KC to make this a
Saken is the most useless player to have a gold lead on, guys. He never does anything with his leads.
Basically been equalized. G2 going to put themselves on Soul Point. KC have shown some impressive fights. I love the confidence that we have been seeing from this KC squad. They seem much more coordinated, even if it was a bit overzealous towards the end of that skirmish. Yeah. They were able to get so many Barons off of G2. You can see only 1,000 gold is the Baron power play. But G2 are unrelenting in their aggression.
Bo and Targamas lucky to get out. In a turret next on the menu is for G2. 4 members approach mid. Bo's trying to defend, but how ambitious is he right now? Sonic Wave goes to a miss. Inner turret drops on down. The onslaught with, I think we've got 1 Baron left remaining. Of course, it was Broken Blade who still survived. So with that 1 Baron push, Casey are getting onslaughted. Explosive cast, see you later.
I ain't gonna flank drag away to safety. That. Yike in danger. Nice.
Nice turn. Oh, Lord.
Everybody, you know the story, you know the legend. They might look good from KC, but then you clap your hands, put in the
Targamas licks Yike, tries to Abyssal Voyage onto him. And then he gets Mega CC'd. It is a good shockwave that comes in, but Caps is already on top of them, the 4-man Pop Blossom, and you get a very, very powerful Smolder dealing damage from the backside. Also, look at that Smolder ult. Holy shit, look at those just crushing their HP bars. Did you see the field of view for this fight? Add some nice context.
The shockwave was so good from Seiken, but the ultimate from Caps was even better.
I'll check it. I'll check it out. Thanks, medic.
He performed out of his mind in winter.
We'll watch it right now.
So again in spring. G2 may have looked out in the early game, but never, ever doubt them as their mid-game continues to flourish. 3-0 at the end of the first week. That's G2.
Caps, man. I really thought Seiken had found the shockwave to